Hey everyone, welcome to another Salty Showcase. In today's video, we are going to be showing off the gameplay of Cyberfrags 69, a game that you need to know about. Cyberfrags is a solo development project by d.a.s of d.a.s Games, and it currently sits at 100% positive reviews on Steam. And while there are only 106 reviews at the time of making this video, that feat is seriously impressive regardless. As with all my Salty Showcase videos, this video is not a formal review, but an expose of the gameplay while I talk on top of it. I will be chatting with you about the single-player campaign of Cyberfrags, and my personal first impressions playing the multiplayer with a large group of friends. And spoiler alert, I'm a huge fan of this game. I think it deserves all the praise and it needs a lot more exposure. And there's really almost nothing negative I can say about this game, so let's just jump right in and show it off. Cyberfrags 69 is a fast-paced movement shooter that reminded me of a blend between TITANFALL 2 and the QUAKE games. The game plays like mini arena shooters, however, due to the wall running, Cyberfrags plays significantly more vertically than a traditional FPS game, hence why it gives off some serious TITANFALL 2 vibes. The game currently costs $5, and I think that is a fair price point for the type of content you get. However, I do think d.a.s could bump his price point to $10 down the road as he adds more content, especially if he expands on the multiplayer, because that alone makes this game beyond worth the cost, as you will soon find out. The single player campaign to me is where you go to learn the mechanics of this game, as I do consider Cyberfrags a primarily multiplayer experience, because that to me is where the game truly shines. The game is currently in early access and it is still a work in progress. d.a.s is a solo developer and he does work on Cyberfrags part-time. That said, he is very active in his Discord and he responds to things quickly if there's something that comes up. For example, one of my friends wanted to rebind his WASD keys and the game did not have that ability. After we mentioned it to d.a.s, he went and fixed it and patched it into his game in just a couple of days. So his responsiveness to the people that play his game, as well as his hopefully growing fan base, is really impressive. The single-player campaign consists of 4 chapters, with the 4th being a work in progress at the moment, and the single-player takes anywhere between 30 minutes and about an hour to beat, depending on your level of knowledge of the game mechanics. We play as Cyberfrank, a mystery protagonist who has just been pissed off by cyber-Nazis. We don't know why the Nazis want him or why they've pissed him off, but hey, Nazis are bad, so we're gonna kill them. And kill them we do. With our amazing wall-running ability, we go from room to room to slay these cyber-Nazis, as well as big dudes with swords, robots, and even jumping attack cats. Once we clear a room, we grab our checkpoint and we move to the next room to start the process all over again. And while this campaign formula is straightforward and not entirely difficult, the fun is the fast-paced wall-running movement combined with the randomness of the weapon pickups. This makes each playthrough slightly different depending on what guns you get. And there are weapons aplenty in Cyberfrags. At the time of making this video, there are over 30 weapons in the game, and each of the weapons have not only a secondary fire mode, but they all can be dual-wielded. Yes, even the sniper rifles. And I also say at the time of making this video because d.a.s is constantly adding new weapons to his game. Like he added a trumpet gun to his game that maybe I kinda inspired him to do, but that's a story for another time. Going back to the weapon secondary fire mode, many of the guns have a movement mechanic as their secondary fire mode. So yeah, if that sounds pretty nutty, it kinda is. You have rocket launchers that can spit out jump pads, a pistol that has a grappling hook built in, or a gun that also is basically an airplane. And this is what that looks like. Other weapons give you abilities like wall hacks or invisibility. Their secondary fire mode is just an enhanced version of the primary. And then there's weapons like Thor's hammer, which is just awesome. So while I didn't find Cyberfrags 69 single player particularly difficult, and while the concept of moving from room to room and clearing the enemies before you can move on is not necessarily original, the wall running movement as well as the crazy arsenal of weaponry is what sets this game apart from the others and makes it stand out. And sure, you can complain that the single player is a little bit short, but it's really enjoyable, it's a work in progress, and guys, remember, this game is $5. And I also forgot to mention that there's like a wave shooter aspect to this game that can be played co-op, but I haven't tried that out yet. d.a.s is but one man, and while Cyberfrags is his passion project, like I said, he works on it part-time. So expectations of what a solo developer can create needs to be realistic. He's created us a fun world with cheeky humor, and it doesn't take itself very seriously at all. Yeah, as I was saying, The simplistic and bold art style gives it a lot of personality and charm. So I for one would love to see what more he can do with his universe he's created. Maybe in time we can see a more fleshed out story with more traditional level progression system where we really get to know Cyberfrank better. And while that is just wishful thinking on my part, I will suggest one quality of life improvement that I do think might be realistic for d.a.s to put into his game. You see, as you play through the single player campaign, you are constantly getting randomized weapons in your inventory. By the end of some of these levels, you might even have 10 or more weapons in your arsenal. And because these weapons are randomized, it's hard to remember which ones you have, as well as which ones are assigned to what number key. So my suggestion is an incredibly rare situation where I actually think a weapon wheel would be beneficial for a PC game. Now I know that's usually a feature in console games, and I for one hate it when weapon wheels end up in PC ports, but I think for Cyberfrags it makes a lot of sense. Multiplayer is where this game truly shines, and it is why it has such high praise from users on Steam. Cyberfrags 69 has all of the ingredients that make a great arena FPS game. Speed and awesome movement mechanics, a large map pool with variety, huge arsenal of weapons, and all the classic game modes such as Capture the Flag and Deathmatch. So let me just be quiet for a minute and allow you to absorb and enjoy some of these clips from my last gameplay session. There's almost nothing I would change about Cyberfrags 69's multiplayer experience. Playing it made me feel like I was teleported back in time when games were straightforward, fast, and chaotic. The network code is exquisite with little to no lag. I was playing on well over 60 ping and I felt no difference than if I was playing it locally. It is the perfect game to play with friends, and due to the RNG of weapon pickups and the fast time to kill, both casual players and more veteran arena players are on the same footing, as map control in a game like this is not nearly as important as a traditional arena FPS. I've played Cyberfrags with friends of all different gaming backgrounds, some of which have never even touched games like QUAKE or Unreal Tournament, and every single one of them have enjoyed the multiplayer of this game. Cyberfrag game nights are organized every Friday in d.a.s Discord, so I'm putting a link in the video description and I hope you join them. Now, as with all my videos, I do try to provide a little constructive feedback along with my praise. I think that a quote, pro version of Cyberfrags, or for lack of a better term, would be really neat to see. A game mode where the more traditional weapon pickups like rocket launchers and lightning guns have stationary spawns, as well as the addition of armors and mega healths. Yes, and while I fully admit that I am a biased arena FPS junkie, I do believe a more traditional arena FPS experience where players battle for map control and resources, aka a pro or competitive mode, would appeal to a veteran arena FPS community and therefore could attract more gamers. Now, while this game has been in early access for a while, d.a.s is updating the game rather often, adding quality of life improvements, weapons, fixing bugs, and more. And before it launches out of early access, it does state that more single player missions, weapons, and overall polish are coming to the game as well. So I for one believe Cyberfrags is a gem, and it is deserving of more recognition. I love supporting games like this, especially ones that have created such a unique and fun multiplayer experience. The wall running and the other movement mechanics from the weaponry is just fast, responsive, and fun. The network code is relatively flawless, the guns are all unique, and I've witnessed first-hand experience arena FPS players and non-arena FPS players enjoying this game. Graphically, it's simple, but it's unique and it works, and quite frankly, I don't have many, if any, criticisms, just ideas on how the game could get better and appeal to more players. So do yourself a favor, instead of buying that next latte at Starbucks, just pick up Cyberfrags 69 for $5, hop in the Discord, and come frag out with us on Friday. Thank you for watching, guys. If you're a fan of arena FPS, QUAKE, or Titanfall, let me know in the comments below. And if you're thinking about trying out Cyberfrags, please let me know and I'll try to jump in game with you next time. And just as a reminder, I've put a link to the Cyberfrags 69 Discord in the video description. I'd also like to thank d.a.s for giving me some keys to hand out to some of my friends so we could play this game together. I also have an interview with d.a.s coming out soon, so please subscribe to the channel for that and future content. Thanks for liking this video, but more importantly, hanging out, guys. I'm SaltyOctopus, and I'll see you next time.